Hi and welcome back to Garden Ninja. Now today's video guide is going to show you how to design a square garden. Now square gardens are so common here in the UK, and a lot of people when they start to design make the same mistakes by basically making small square boxy gardens, and the designs never quite work. But this guide is going to show you how to avoid the pitfalls and how to create a beautiful small square garden without sticking to all those rigid rules. If you've not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit the red button to subscribe today. Also click the bell for notifications. We'll have access to hundreds of garden design hints, tips and hacks from me, the Garden Ninja. And best of all, it's free. Now whenever I'm designing square gardens, the first thing I do is try and break up the square into different shapes. And the reason why I do that is that if you follow the square and end up with equal flower beds or equal sized seating areas in the garden, it feels very boxy and very formal. And formal gardens are really hard to manage because they require precision. So if we use more informal garden design principles such as asymmetry, the garden doesn't need as much maintenance and it feels a lot more relaxed. Now the first thing I tend to do with square gardens is to cut them into different zones. I don't just want a square lawn in the middle, some skinny borders and the odd tree stuck in a corner. I want to play around with perspective, and the best way to do that is to use asymmetry. So when you've got your square, you can cut it into thirds to create three distinct areas, whether it's horizontally or vertically. And the beauty of that is that you can then start to play around with what goes where. And because we're using the rule of thirds, the garden will feel far more immersive. If you've got a square garden, another trick is to use curves, but we're not talking about the wiggly worm or very light curves. We want big arcs or full circles. And what that will do is then we'll bring depth to the garden because we've got this really big circle, such as a lawn or a patio, and then the flower beds or planting that can surround it. It makes the garden feel more immersive. But if we go for the wiggly worm, all of a sudden it's starting to feel neither here nor there. The other trick that I use with square gardens is to use the 45-degree angle with pass, and this is a really amazing design trick to make any garden feel longer and elongate the space. And what we do with the diagonal is that we take offsets from 45 degrees down the garden, whether that's a path or a flower bed, and it takes your eye away from the shortest point and across the bias to the longest point, and it makes for really dynamic design. And another top design tip with square gardens is to go really deep with your flower beds. So rather than having beds all the way around the outside, like a lot of beginner gardeners would choose to do, what we do is we take one side or the other and we give a really deep flower bed. So we're using asymmetry again. And what that means is that one side of the garden will feel far heavier, such as the deep flower bed. And then we can start to plant in layers, which is where the exciting part of design happens, because suddenly flower beds feel really immersive and dynamic rather than skinny and a little bit lackluster. So let me talk you through the biggest mistakes when it comes to designing a square garden. The first is to push things into the corner, and I'm talking about patios, decking, sheds, trees, where you just ram them into a corner hoping that it makes the rest of the garden feel bigger. The problem is it won't, because you've got a definite edge. If you're putting patios or seating areas into square gardens, pull them away from the fence and the boundary lines. Leave at least a metre, and then what you can do is create beautiful flower beds so that when you're sat on said patio, you feel much more nested and surrounded rather than up against a cold brick wall or a fence. And also it pulls you away from your neighbours, so you're not having to listen to their conversations, nor theirs with yours. Another thing that a lot of gardeners forget about is vertical aspects to the garden, whether that be suitable small garden trees, trellis, arches, or growing up walls and fences. Because by growing climbing plants across walls or boundaries, you can soften those edges, turn them green and give vertical interest, so that we're not just looking at the floor or the square space, we're also looking up, and you can play with the perspective that way as well. And last but not least, please try and edit your decisions. Now I know we all get very enthusiastic as gardeners, but with a square garden, trying to do too much makes it feel really hit and miss and confusing. What I like to do is use that rule of three. So the first area might be a seating area, the second might be lawn or flower beds, and the third might be some form of function, such as a pergola, outdoor office or shed. And by keeping it simple to those 3 functions, you're going to get much more out of your garden rather than trying to go for 6 different areas in a square garden that kind of feels really disjointed. So there you go, my top tips for designing square gardens, along with some really solid design examples. If you've liked this video guide, please let me know in the comments below and make sure you click subscribe to find out more from me, the Garden Ninja. You can also check out my blog gardenninja.co.uk, where there are literally thousands of garden designs and plant guides for you, whether you're a beginner or an expert. And if you want to learn more about garden design, why not sign up for one of my online garden design courses where you too can become an absolute pro in next to no time. I've been Burkhill, a Garden Ninja. Happy gardening.